Is back in Cleveland. It's the 16th, 17th, and 18th of next month at the Romo Fijo, back by popular demand. I don't think the demand for Monster Jam ever wanes. 4 performances total. You can see Grave Digger and El Toro Loco and Megalodon and more of your favorite Monster Jam trucks. I got 4 tickets for you right here. MonsterJam.com will have anything I left out. So be caller 10. You got this 2 pair here. Good luck. 4 for Monster Jam next month. It's a good time. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
Proving what one man can achieve with an utter lack of charisma.
One of the great achievements of our time.
Alan Cox.
On 100.7 WMMS.
God bless the Doobie Brothers. These guys got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame during the COVID Rock Hall, so they were all on Zoom and in their living rooms and stuff. But they got in. They announced the Doobies are coming back to Cleveland this summer.
With my guy Steve Winwood.
Steve Winwood.
I kind of want to go to that.
We tried to see Steve Winwood open for Steely Dan at Red Rocks a few years ago, but that's when that massive hailstorm came through, and so we got a couple of Steve Winwood songs. Steve Winwood and the Robert Cray Band. Remember Robert Cray?
No.
In the 80s? God, he had a couple of huge hits.
What were they?
Well, the album was called...
You Drive Me Crazy?
No. Cray? No, what was it called? It was Smoking Gun was his big song. And then Because of Me was another one. Robert Cray Band. What was the album called? It was called like Smooth Operator or something. But they had one big hit like in the 80s. He's 70 now.
Who's in the Doobie Brothers still?
Well, like, Michael McDonald's coming with them.
He's coming with them?
It's
okay.
Pat Simmons, it's John McPhee, Tom Johnson.
So I like a lot of that music.
It's this original singer.
Yeah.
And Michael McDonald and some of the other guys. Doobies are great. So they're playing Blossom on August 22.
Who likes the Doobie Brothers? Because we got one of them.
I like the Doobies. Bad Influence. No, I'm sorry. Strong Persuader was the big Robert Cray album from 1986. That was the one that kind of put him on the map. He's put out 15 albums. But Strong Persuader was the one that I had on cassette. Great song, Smoking Gun. Huge hit for him. And it was a story. He's living next door to this woman. She's got a guy, but he can't help himself, and he seduces this woman. And then there's gunplay. It's a very succinct song. It's only about 4 minutes long, but he really tells a story in that short amount of time. So anyway, if you're into the Doobies, Steve Winwood, Robert Cray, all of them. I don't know if Steve Winwood is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I feel like he's not and should be. Maybe Traffic is. Maybe the Spencer Davis group is. I don't know. But the Doobie Brothers are. They got in that year that they were doing Rock Hall inductions from people's living rooms over Zoom for COVID. But they'll do Blossom out there on August 22. So this Friday morning, those tickets will go on sale if you're into that stuff. And I am. Like those guys a lot.
Oh, yeah. I want to go to that.
Anytime
Steve Winwood. I listen to a lot of
Winwood's great. Anytime you leave us messages, you certainly can. Somebody dropped a voicemail extolling Poundcake's virtues here.
Hey, guys, I just wanted to send a note of thanks to Cody Helpful Brown for his absolute banger, which is My Guns, My Beer, My Truck. I have been subconsciously using that song for the last couple months to remember things in my office. So when I leave for the day, I'll be like, my phone, my keys, my mug, my purse, my coat, my file folder, whatever it is. But I found over the last couple of months using that catchy tune. So a note of appreciation to Poundcake. Love you guys. Take care. Thanks.
Wow, imagine cheese is one of the things you're reminding yourself to take. Is that what she said? my cheese, my mug.
I think she said keys.
Oh, and she said keys?
I think so.
I thought she said cheese. I prefer cheese. Keys. Okay. Well, you're probably right.
Hey guys, I just wanted a song for the last couple months to remember things in my office. So when I leave for the day, I'll be like, my phone, my keys, my mug.
I can
does
see
sound
why
like
you say
cheese.
cheese, yeah.
But keys
I think
make
keys makes more sense, but
keys does
but
make
maybe
more
she
sense.
has emotional support cheese with her.
Right.
My truck might be my guns, though.
Well, nevertheless, she's using it as a mnemonic device. That's good. You are helpful.
I am helpful.
You know, every time we break your balls, and this is the danger of underestimating Poundcake or playing around with him too much, is that every time, because I've said from the jump, and it remains true, our audience infantilizes him. So we have to walk this razor's edge where we'll give him a hard time, and people will enjoy that. But when we do, we can't go too hard, because the audience pushes back, because they treat him like a child. And they think we're being big old meanies. Well, me specifically. I'm a big old meanie when I give him a hard time. But the danger in giving him a hard time is that invariably somebody will come back with an example of how Poundcake was right on the money, right on target. Hey, Alan, you guys said Poundcake, blah, blah. You said he was crazy. Well, guess what? I do the same thing, blah, blah, blah. So we have to keep that in mind. But my truck, my beer, my guns is the song.
My truck, my beer, my guns. Say it again. My truck, my beer, my guns. Say it again. My truck, my beer, my guns. Say it again. My truck, my beer, my guns. Say it again.
That was his impromptu country song. That was him encapsulating, much to Mary's dismay, that was him encapsulating the entirety of country music.
Every single song. Identical.
Right. So now we got to write one for Amanda. My cheese, my mug, my car, whatever it was. So you're doing the Lord's work out there, Poundcake, for those of you who believe and celebrate.
I can only do what I'm sitting here to do.
I know what you're set there to do. There's a guy who was running a marathon in China, and they disqualified him because he was chain smoking through the whole race.
Why would that disqualify him? He's
Well,
outside and he's smoking.
My
What's
thought
wrong?
is, if you can run a marathon and smoke the whole time,
It's superhuman.
this guy's 52. It's not like he's 25. 52-year-old guy. So that's impressive.
This is what cigarettes were telling us they were good for the whole time.
They're healthy.
Yeah, they're healthy. Get that minty, fresh
Burst of energy.
Yeah, they're always talking about the way it would help you when they were advertising in the 40s and 50s.
That's one of the big plot points in the early seasons of Mad Men is when the studies come out that go, it turns out smoking's not good for you. How do we push back on that? How do we still get people to buy cigarettes, even though now we can't lie and tell people? But this guy not only did he...
that's the polar blast punishment. Whoever loses has to smoke for a year.
Oh, jeez.
All right,
Cody
fine.
and I don't. Cody
I'm
and I don't have health insurance.
I'm a Chesterfield man.
Well, then who cares? You'll just die. It's
Tastes
fine.
good like a cigarette should. Just think of how that's going to impact your voice. You're going to get that cool, kind of
Poundcake has health
gravelly...
insurance.
Poundcake has health insurance?
Unfortunately, yes.
What do you mean only he would go, unfortunately, I have health insurance.
I have health insurance because
You mean unfortunately you have to pay for it?
correct.
Right. Well, we all do. We all pay for it.
It's different.
No, we
though.
all pay for it. Everybody pays for health
But it
insurance.
comes out of your check. Like it's.
But I pay for
But
it.
it's still
That's
money
my
that comes.
money.
It's my
that you
money.
don't- It's money that you don't see. Like
Yes,
you,
I
it-
do.
Yes, I do. I see it go
I look
towards
at
my
it,
health
I
insurance.
look at it, I go, God damn, that's a lot of money.
We all get pay stubs, you know, and I can see exactly.
I think I would prefer that rather than paying for it every month.
You would prefer what?
Because it's like money that if I don't see it, I don't really care about it that
But
much.
it's still money that you don't have. So what does it matter if you see it or not? Everything you pay for, you
'Cause
see.
I don't want it in my bank account if it's just gonna go away.
But you know that's going to go away. It's better than not having the money in your account.
but just take it out already, so I don't have to be the one to pay for it. Just
Yeah,
take it out.
that's what
already.
tax is. That's what everything is.
I'm well aware.
Yeah.
Like I have health insurance just because the government
I'll
told
show
me
you.
I had to.
I'll show you how much money I pay in taxes every year. You'll kill yourself on my behalf.
Okay.
So we're all paying for. Well, Mary's not. Mary's not paying for health insurance.
The government
We're
didn't
paying
tell
for
you.
her.
You didn't get a letter saying that you had to have health insurance, Mary?
Probably. I don't know. I've moved like 9 times in the last.
I was gonna say
Mary started doing her taxes 3 years ago. Like it's
Don't worry
not.
about me. Everything's fine.
because I used to get it through.
9 times.
I used to get it through my morning job, and then they discontinued that because I was like part time, and then I didn't have it. I was like, I'll just pay it out of pocket because I barely go. There's nothing that wrong with me. Stuff that
So you had it in your pocket.
I was gonna pay it out of pocket, and then the government was like, no, you need to have something, or you'll face penalties at tax time. And then I got it. So I guess we'll find out
Which
during
is a
tax
big
time.
crock of crap.
I don't.
It
Well,
is.
how did I not hear about this? You got a letter saying you have to have health insurance.
You get,
Yeah.
you get penalties on your taxes every year if you don't carry health insurance for at least six
That's good
months.
old Obamacare for your Affordable Care Act or whatever it is.
So if you don't have it for at least 6 months out of the year, you get fined.
How much? Well, the fine's still less
I thought
than
it-
what the health insurance.
I
would
don't
be.
think so. I think it was like they make it significant, like
It's like
$600.
$300.
No, it's not.
But it's
It can't be more than the health insurance, or everybody would just get the health insurance.
But that's the whole thing. I think they penalize you. I think it's like $600 because some people, I would pay
$600 fine a year if you don't have health
Then
insurance.
if that's the case, then I
that
wouldn't
can't
have
be
it.
right.
I don't know how much it is. I didn't.
There's
take
people.
that
There's
risk 'cause I
people
didn't
who
have the
don't.
money.
There's people who don't pay $600 a year for health
according
insurance.
to healthcare.gov, if you don't have coverage during 2023, the fee no longer applies.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
Thanks,
well, then
Obama.
Well, then
Because
I
you
will
used
stop.
to need exemption, like a reason why you didn't have health insurance.
That's
So I
just
moved, I
how
had
white
this.
folks will do you.
Okay, well then I'm just gonna discontinue it.
You're gonna get rid of your health insurance.
Yeah, if I'm not like using it.
Right, but
I'll
that's
pay
what
out-
everybody says.
I'll pay out
But
of
when you
pocket.
when you
But then
need
when you
it,
need it,
you
yeah.
won't have it.
But it doesn't really cover that much anyways. It covers like a small percentage, and because I don't make that much, there is pretty much covering nothing. Like it'll cover a checkup, and a checkup isn't much. It's like I don't know, $50 to $150 or something like that. I don't know, but you get 2 of those a year versus you go through insurance like, oh, we'll cover $50 of it. I'm like, what do I need you for? Why am I paying every month for?
I started going through specific doctor's offices. So, like, I go to the Cleveland Clinic now, and they have something called financial clearance, where they take your W-2s and then you pay on a sliding scale. There's a lot of places that do that. I mean, you still have to pay for every visit, and they won't let you in until you do. But sometimes it's, on years I've had really bad stand-up, I would have to pay nothing. On, like last year I had a really good year, so my visits, the price went up. So I've had that for the last couple years. And then before that, I just didn't have health insurance.
Nah, I got to figure out something because I thought I was going to get in trouble for not having it. And if it's cheaper to not have it, then I won't have it and I'll pay it out of pocket as I go because.
But the problem
But
with
paying
that
out
is
of
that
pocket is exorbitant.
it's a lot. I mean, it's like
It's like $5,000 you go into the hospital because your knee hurts.
It can't be. It's not going to be
Well,
$5,000.
it depends on what you go for. Like when I've been once a month, I have to go to a psychiatrist to get my medication refilled, and those are like $300 a visit. Like it's not $20 like a copay would be.
But it's why people say don't call an ambulance.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, it's
Because
like,
it's
like
like
$11,000.
It's a ton, well, however much it is. But you understand, people are like, don't call an ambulance. I can't pay for it.
Or you could just like dodge them, and when they send you a bill, you just don't pay it.
The first panic attack I ever had that was like really significant. I was on the road. I was out drinking all night. I was going from the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. I don't think it was Allentown. I think it was another A.
Altoona.
I don't know, somewhere in the middle of Pennsylvania, and I had to drive to Whitehall, Michigan, which is like up near Traverse City. It was like a 13-hour drive.
Jeez.
And I was up drinking all night the night before, drinking Jaeger bombs, and then I had a Monster with breakfast, and then I took 5-Hour Energy, and then I took pre-workout. So I was like completely over, and I was dehydrated, hungover, and had no sleep. So
Yeah. And your ears were probably bleeding after all that.
Probably, but I pulled over on the side of the road because like my mouth started to go numb and my nose and my hands, and like my heart was obviously racing, and like I felt sick, and I was like, I'm having a heart attack. I pulled over on the side of the road in Michigan, and I called 911 because I was like, I'm positive that I'm having a heart attack. Like this is insane. I can't see straight. I'm dizzy. And they came and they were like, your vitals are fine. Your heart rate's elevated. You basically overdosed on caffeine. I was like, well, I want you to take me to the hospital. And the EMTs were like, just so you know, if you don't have health insurance, you're talking $5,000 minimum just for this ride to the hospital. They're like, so if you think you can make it to your hotel and just relax for the night, we'd recommend that because this is going to cost you a ton of money. So even they are like conscious of the fact that
of course.
It's insanely overpriced.
Yeah. I mean, it might have gotten to the point where they have to tell you that now.
Yeah, well, this was in
Not legally, but I
2014.
mean, maybe best practices. They're like, hey, FYI.
We'll take you.
You can't afford to be sick.
Yeah, you
Right.
can't do this right now. Well, no, I went to my hotel and canceled my show for that night, which sucked because then I was out money, and now I'm still like 7 hours from home. So I went and just tried to like relax and eat and chill for the night, and then ended up having to drive back home the next day anyway.
I was on the phone when you said how much it cost. How much did it cost?
They said it was like $5,000 minimum
for the ambulance.
For the ambulance, because I just called 911 and they sent out whoever's closest, you know.
Wow.
And that was 10 years ago.
Well, and you were out of state?
I was driving from one gig to another and basically overdosed on caffeine.
Oh.
And they were like, listen, you're going to be fine. You're going to be really uncomfortable for a while, but you don't technically need to go to the hospital. So unless you have $5,000.
I didn't know you could overdose on caffeine.
Well, I
thought
guess
your body
overdose
just like
probably,
rejects it after a
Another
while.
polar
It's
blast
not the-
punishment.
Okay.
No, that's
It's
why
not the
people are
right
dying
word,
from
but-
that Panera lemonade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where,
Well, I
like,
think
your
that's
body
made me
has
want to go to Panera
reactions.
recently.
Right. Yeah, you can overdose on a lot of things. Make your heart explode.
An overdose on love.
These people who
No,
drink all,
you can't, Bill. I've
No.
tried.
these people that just continuously drink Monster like it's like Mountain Dew. Those people,
Yeah.
like
Which is also not a great thing to just
all they
drink
do
a
is,
ton of.
I was gonna say all they do is just drink Monsters or Rock Stars. Dude, Rock Stars used to be so good. I don't know where they are now. I haven't had one in years.
We'll sell them in the cooler at Target.
Yeah, I haven't had a Rock Star energy drink in years. But
I mean, we have people who work here who are just a skosh younger than me. I'll be 53 this summer. Just a skosh younger than me. And they're down in Red Bulls all day long. And I'm like, you are going to wake up dead.
you're gonna wake
You
up
are.
dead.
You're going to wake up dead.
They're just gonna be dead. You're not gonna
Yes.
know.
Nope. I'm like, because you do have to remind yourself. You got to be, because like when I go out and party, I still drink Red Bull and tequila, right? That's a bad mix at any age. But and again, it doesn't happen often.
Bad mix, good time.
Right. But I always have the same conversation with myself at the end of the night. I go, you are 52, Jagoff. I'm in pretty good shape. But I'm like, you don't know what's going to make your heart explode. I'm like, you got to stop doing that.
No poppers for you.
Well, there were no, I'm a popper guy. But I mean, the only thing that runs in my family is heart disease. And so it hasn't really affected any of my family like recently. But like my whole grandmother's family was decimated by heart disease. Like all of her brothers died before they were 50 from heart attacks and things like that.
See,
so
that's not fun. You kind of
no, that's not fun.
I'm just gonna say it. Like mine it's a gamble. We have heart disease, we have stroke, we have heart attack, we have lung cancers.
I mean, all the more reason to play the odds. I mean, you might not be
diabetes,
a good time, but
just roll the dice, see what comes up.
I guess plenty of people do. They go, hey, I'll take my chances. I mean, nothing wrong with that either. Some people aren't planners. But one way or the other, whether you see that money or not, you're paying for it. It's still coming out of your... Maybe you should go drive a UPS truck. They give bennies to, like, part-timers. Go drive an UPS truck.
I'm not above
Then
that.
you'd really be helpful, Brown.
Yeah,
They go, what can Brown do for you? Here's
Times
Poundcake.
2.
That's right.
I remember one time.
Think of how good you look in them shorts.
I would look pretty cute. I remember one time this was while I was still on my mom's insurance, and my dumb ass, I had an STD scare, and I went out of network because for whatever reason I thought if you went out of network, they're not gonna mail it to like your actual insurance.
You thought it meant like on the DL?
Yeah,
out of network.
I went out of network because I didn't want my mom to find out that I had like to go. What they were like pumping me with, like I had to get penicillin. Now, granted, I
and
didn't
she's
have
in the
anything.
medical business.
I know, but I didn't want to tell her that I was hoeing, and I had an STD scare. So I went out of network place, and I was like, I'll just pay out of pocket. First of all, it was $800.
Yes.
It was $800, and they still billed my mom anyways. And she was like, why? She was like, why am I getting this bill? Why'd you go out of network? I was like, never mind. Like,
No
I
one
told her.
explained that to you?
no, because I didn't have the conversation. Mom, if I ever want to do something on the DL, how am I
No,
gonna...
but just in general, people go find a doctor in your network.
I knew what was in my network, but I didn't want it to get back to my mom.
You're trying to be
I didn't-
sneaky.
Yeah, I didn't go to my primary care physician. Like,
Right.
I went to like urgent care, and they're like, this isn't covered. I was like, I know, I'll pay it out of pocket. I'm like, can I give you cash like right now? They're like, yeah, sure. So I paid
He's
cash.
peeling off
and
a
then-
wad of bills.
And then little did I know, there's extra fees after you pay the whatever at the door. So
The copay.
yeah, I had a copay, and then they're like, yep, yeah, you should be fine. And then still bill. She's like, so I got a bill that said it was not covered by insurance. I was like, let me just Venmo you something real quick. Don't worry about that.
Did it say on the bill what it was for?
I don't remember.
STD blood work or blood panel?
It didn't. I don't remember what it. She just said there was an out of network bill. I don't know if it said. I didn't see the bill. She got it because it went back to her. Because I don't know if I presented them with the card. But yeah, they were like, "Do you have insurance?" I said, "I do."
I got a
but-
bill that says you have Legionnaire's disease. You know anything about that? That's kind of off the map.
And it was so stupid because I didn't end up having anything. Like I told them to give me the shot anyways, just to make sure because I was going to
That
San
is
Diego.
the best case scenario, though, that you didn't have it. He's mad because he didn't have something and he paid money.
Yeah, I paid money, but it was all my fault. I was going to San Diego. I was like, I don't want to hoe, I want to hoe in San Diego. So I went, hurry up, give me the shot, lickety splits.
He wanted to have clean papers before he went out there.
Science
Wanted to make sure.
is a liar sometimes.
I've got a break. If you want $1,000, and I suspect that you do, I'll have another shot for you to get it around 3:30. You want to go see Sum 41? They've announced the farewell tour is going to do Blossom this summer. I'll hand off a pair of tickets for you here out of the break.
The Alan Cox Show.
On our free iHeartRadio app and your favorite smart device. Just tell it to play the Alan Cox Show on iHeartRadio.
From the Universal